Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. We are thrilled to have you with us. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and distinguished guests and passionate advocates for education. These are the people that are here with us today. Welcome to this important gathering, and it will be the one of many, one policy for global education. I want you to really think about this. One policy for global education. Think in your mind right now what that would look like. Today, we embark on a crucial dialogue aimed at fostering a shared educational policy that focuses on innovation, inclusion, and impact. And you may think, how can we do that? So many countries, so many people. Our biggest goal is to eradicate all barriers to a quality education for any individual, especially for our children, especially for our women and girls. As we all know, education is not just a fundamental human right, it is the bedrock upon which economies are built and societies flourish. We know that it's the pillar and it's the way to eradicate poverty. According to the UNESCO, there are over 260 million children under the age of 18 currently out of school worldwide. This is an alarming statistic considering that we are in 2025. This statistic underscores the urgent need for a cohesive, inclusive, and innovative educational policy that transcends borders and addresses the multifaceted challenges that we face today, providing quality education for all. Many of those that are accompanying me today are educators, are education champions, but we also invite policymakers, civic organizations, community leaders. It's just not the teacher's responsibility or the school leadership. It is all of our responsibility. It is our time to get activated and accelerate action. Innovation in education is more critical now than ever, and it goes beyond AI, although AI, of course, is one of the many conversations that we're having today. A study by the McKinsey Global Institute highlights that investing in education can lead to a 34% increase in GDP per capita over the next decade. I think we all know this. How many times have we heard about this? This potential for economic growth illustrates the importance of fostering innovative teaching methods and integrating technology into our educational frameworks. Think about those abilities that are not the same. If we're going to be truly inclusive, think of accessing and giving access to every individual. This is why personalized education becomes so key and so important. See, there's so many things that we could be talking about, but when we speak about one global policy is making sure that everybody has access. Innovation must be paired with inclusion. The Global Education Monitoring Report shows that marginalized groups, including girls and mostly girls, children with disabilities, and those from low-income backgrounds face significant barriers to accessing quality education. I'm just not saying a door that's open and kids can go in and call that a school. It's actually making sure that the education that they're getting is the right education. Our advocate and our visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, has always had the dream, and he shared it with all of us. And I think all of us that are here today envision the same thing. A unified policy must ensure that every child, regardless of their circumstances, is afforded the opportunity to learn and thrive. Moreover, we must consider the impact of education in our global community. The World Bank states that each additional year of schooling can increase an individual's income by 10%. 10% just by finishing school. When we invest in education, we're not only transforming that person's lives, but we're also enhancing their community. I can't say it enough. I think we've seen it time and time again. Nonetheless, we are still here. 260 million kids that have never been registered in school. Today's discussions will focus on creating a singular educational policy framework. What does that look like? Is that even possible? What organizations will help us? Would the UN really be that organization? We have the knowledge. We all do. We have the resources. We all do. We have the network. We all do. and we also have the collective will to achieve this vision. I encourage each of you today, when you share your insights, to think about this, not only to have a beautiful speech, not only to have an opportunity to be online and get a certificate, but truly to be that change maker that I know you are in your classrooms, I know you are in your offices, I know you are in your communities, but now we are going to be a cohesive unit. World education policy is a consortium of stakeholders, and these stakeholders are educationists first and foremost, but also policymakers, rainmakers, NGOs, the civic organization, even those in the limelight are influencers. I truly encourage you to have this hat on today. Really think about, what does the world look like if every single child at the age of 4, 3, 4, 5, 6 had an opportunity to go to school and get a quality education? I want to thank every single one of you for your dedication and commitment. I know this is not just a noble cause. This is an urgent call to action. So let's together pave the way for a future where education knows no boundaries and the potential of every individual is realized. I want to take personally a moment to thank our founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, because truly, the day he told me this, actually, this is how I started in India. I heard Mr. Piyush stand on a podium, speaking in Hindi first, and then he translated to English. When I heard his words, when he said, we need to make sure that every child, and in my mind, I was thinking little girls and women, but the truth is that we need to be inclusive, everybody. So today we will start with our guest of honor, and our guest of honor is Dr. Teresa Mosley. Dr. Teresa Mosley has so many accolades. She is #1, an award-winning author, I think 20 times. Right?
Yes.
She is an educationist. She is part of the forever people that we admire and thank for their service in the military. She's also an international speaker. She's a mother. She's a friend. But most importantly, she's a mentor. So I want to invite her here today because I know that where Dr. Teresa puts her thoughts and puts her actions, things happen. So Dr. Teresa, welcome. The virtual podium is yours.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I truly believe in the unified vision for world education centered on equity. And I want to be very clear. Equity and equal are two different things. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But I am blessed to be a United Nations Peace Ambassador. And one of the things is we have some sustainable developmental goals. And goal number 4 is quality education in the world. And here's how I think we can get there. For number 1, global policy and alignment and strengthen governments. We need to harmonize national education policies with goal number 4, standard education. We need to establish international accountability mechanisms through UNESCO to track our progress. And we need to encourage all governments, and I'm going to say this again, all governments, to just have 15 to 20% of their national budgets to education. I think that's so important. Also, equitable financing. We need to increase funding for education for low-income countries and through global partnerships. We need more global partnerships to help combat this war on poverty. Because what we know is the more education you have, the more likely you're to not repeat the cycle of poverty. The other thing, Virginia talked about this a little bit earlier, is directing resources to marginalized groups like girls and refugees and children with disabilities and rural populations. This is so important, but it's also important inside the classroom too, that teachers understand every child learns differently, and whether they have a disability or not, whether they're ADHD or ODD, you need to find out the learning style of that child and give every child the accommodation that they need. I'm speaking from 49 years in leadership and 27 years in education. So I see the problems. I must be remiss if I tell you that before COVID-19, we already had problems with equity in education. But after COVID-19, I'm going to give you the statistics. There's 84 million children and young children that will stay out of school by 2020, and approximately 300 million will lack the basic skills, literacy skills, to sustain in life. And a lot of that is because they didn't get that education during COVID-19. So this is very important. So what we're doing here, I think it aligns with the quality education goals for the United Nations. Number one, we need to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education for the United Nations as target 4.1 to 4.7. We need to promote lifelong learning opportunities for all children, all students. That's target 4.3 to 4.6 for the UN. And we need to build and upgrade inclusive educational facilities. And Dr. Virginia is doing something amazing in India to make this happen in her e-village. And I was so pleased to be there. Thank you so much. And we need to have more of those. And the last one is increase the supply of qualified teachers and administrators. I think about this. There's a boy 6'2" watching a football game over a fence. And there's a kid, same age, but he's 5'4". He can't see. So what do? We put a step or a platform for him to stand on. That's not equal, but that is equity. And that's what we need in world education. We need equity. I think about as a high school principal, I have a budget. Maybe it's $150,000, my school operating resources funds. So they said, okay, just divide it by English, math. I said, no, no. What do you need English? I need classroom libraries. Okay. What do you need math? I need TI-84 calculators. Okay. What do you need science? I need telescopes or I need microscopes. So I'll check the budget. Classroom libraries is 3,000. TI-83 is 15,000. Telescopes is 10,000. I gave them what they wanted. It wasn't equal, but it was equitable. So in terms of world policy, I think we also need to have a global curriculum for all students. We don't need textbooks this big. We need something this big for each child to learn each year. And education doesn't start at grade K. It starts when the child is born. So Dr. Virginia, thank you so much for this platform. You're doing some wonderful work. I just want to recap that I think we need inclusion and equitable quality education. We need lifelong learning promoted even in rural areas in the world. We need to build inclusive educational facilities. And also we need a global grassroots movement. We need to get our children involved in this, and we need to leverage technology for universal access. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Teresa. I was not disappointed. Thank you for always inspiring us. And truly, this is a serious call to action. Like you said, we all need to get together. This is the first of many calls, and I want you to know how serious we are about this. In World Education Policy, I'm the president. At this moment, we are looking for global directors, people that really want to be with us and want to walk the talk, because we can all talk. And I think we're tired of listening to beautiful speeches that don't get any results, right? So finally, this is a group that actually will accelerate action. We've been doing this. Dr. Piyush Pandit has been doing this since 2021. I took over the presidency in 2023, and it's taken me a lot to learn about policies. I want to tell you a little bit about what I do as a president of World Education Policy. First, I represent an organization or a consortium of individuals, and this can be you. It's not only for teachers. So if you know a great policymaker, somebody in your country, in your town that is doing something great in your county, let's talk to them. The truth is, as Dr. Teresa said, it's not only one global education policy. It should be one curriculum where we know that every child will be able to tick this off because he's having the best education so he can live to his fullest ability. Also, lifelong education. There's so many adults today that really need access to. So we'll continue to talk. I know that every single one of you has a marvelous topic on this, but I wanted to now introduce our chief guest today, and that is Dr. Maria del Carmen Santiago Valentin. I am very, very proud to have her here. She is a fellow Boricua, a fellow person with ancestry from Puerto Rico. She lives in the United States of America. She's an accomplished educator and advocate specializing in reading, literacy, and assessment. She earned her Doctor of Education from Walden University in December 2023, was an award-winning dissertation focused on integrating literacy into career and technical education. To me, she represents sustainability because she is a sustainability champion in education and every other place that I have seen her. She is a woman that takes action. She's a woman that does not stay seated. And wherever and whenever I'm asked for help, she has said, Virginia, count on me. So without further ado, Maria Santiago Valentin, PhD in education, please join us today on the virtual podium.
Uh, Thank you, Virginia, for this opportunity. And I'm very honored to be among this group of champion and global leaders of education in the capacity that you're working in. I've been an educator since 1992. That's when I started as a teacher, and then I moved in different roles. World language teacher, world language department chair, and now I am learning disabilities consultant. In my volunteer and community service role, I've been working since 2010 in issues related to climate, environmental advocacy, and environmental justice. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed educators, students, and global citizens, today we gather to discuss a topic that transcends borders, cultures, and generations, the vital importance of sustainability in global education. As our world faces unprecedented environmental, social, and economic challenges, the role of education in shaping a sustainable future has never been more critical. Why the urgency? Because what happens local also happens at the global scale. So our current way of living is not sustainable, and humanity is depleting the planet's resource at an alarming rate, with the climate crisis, biodiversity loss, and environmental degradation that threaten the fabric of life in our planet. These challenges are not isolated to one region or community. They are global in scale. So the same, let's say, the same phenomenon that we're experiencing in Jersey happens also in India, happens also in Puerto Rico, happens also in Europe. Extreme heat, extreme hurricanes, and also the depletion of our main minerals. These challenges are not isolated. Education is the most powerful tool that we have to address these issues by educating and informing. Not only, I'm not thinking about K-12 or college, the traditional student. I'm thinking about lifelong learners, adults, of people from different walks of life, and different people from different industries as well. This is something that we need to address. So what is education for sustainable development? It's more than a curriculum. It's a holistic approach that empowers people to live in ways that are good for the environment. And it comes into building critical skills and awareness, enhance critical thinking. The individuals learn to analyze complex issues and evaluate multiple perspectives, and also create innovative solutions for their communities. Environmental awareness. We need to understand the ecological systems, climate change, and resource conservation learners. Social responsibility. It encourages consideration of social justice, equity, and community well-being, nurturing a sense of stewardship and ethical citizenship. Environmental problems such as resource depletion do not respect national boundaries. And this is an issue that we are seeing in migrants. We see migrants moving from one country to another and trying to find better places for farming and places that they could live because they're being lost by storms. So the way we are living is affecting the planet. By integrating sustainability into curricula at all levels, we empower them to make informed decisions. And then I want to bring a topic that I found about this. I was in a webinar yesterday about reading and literacy, and yes, we are making very long stride with artificial intelligence, but now they are studying the environmental impacts of artificial intelligence, that are the use of the energy it takes a research in environmental intelligence. The energy it takes is equal to 12 houses in California electricity for a year.
Mhm.
and also the amount of water they're using for cooling the systems of those power machines, and the use of fossil fuels to maintain those power machines. So yes, we're going ahead, but we need to aware of what we are doing to our planet to go that ahead. Sustainability education is not just about imparting knowledge, it's about fostering a sense of agency, urgency, and responsibility. And in conclusion, integrating sustainability into global education is not a luxury, it's not a cliche, it's a necessity. And it's an investment in a better world for present and future generations. How does that look for policy? Well, we need to include that sustainability in all subject areas, not only as a class by itself, or included in all industries, and make sure we have checklists to understand and see that those practices are being honored. And this is my presentation.
Hey, well done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maria Santiago.
Thank you.
Thank you. And there's something that you just said at the very end, because I had some other comments, but progress, when we're learning about it, when it's happening, things will, show up. And we do know that even that little cartoon that everybody was doing with AI, maybe that it was maybe like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, even that consumes so much energy. And what you just said about how much all this progress is really costing us when we look into how sustainable we can be if we really embrace this. So we really need to continue to think about how this affects every single one of us. Thank you. Dr. Maria Santiago she's our global officer, sustainability officer here in the Piyush Group of Companies. She said yes a month ago. I'm very excited to start working with her in all of our areas, especially in the area of education. So thank you so much, Dr. Maria Santiago. Thank you. Now we will go and transition to Dr. Mary Eng. So this is Mary also, Dr. Mary. Dr. Mary is a multi-award winning consultant, psychosocial specialist. She's a renowned mentor and coach. She's a counselor, and she comes to us from Singapore. So
Yay.
Dr. Mary, the virtual podium is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Virginia, Amina, and all the esteemed guests and everyone that is watching. Today, I want to share with you one powerful global education policy that could help share and shape a more peaceful, cooperative, and inclusive world. It's called Global Citizenship Education, or GCED for short, a policy framework that aims to equip students everywhere with the values, knowledge, and skills to become responsible global citizens. So what exactly is global citizenship education in that respect? It is actually promoted by UNESCO, surprisingly, as a policy that encourages learners to understand global issues like poverty, climate change, inequality, and conflict, develop respect for human rights, diversity, and cultural differences, learn skills like critical thinking, empathy, and collaboration. In simple terms, it's about teaching students not just to be good citizens of their own country, but of the world. Why is it important? We live in an interconnected world. Just at the touch of fingertips, they're all connected. So, example, a war in one country can affect food prices in another. A pandemic like COVID-19 doesn't recognize borders, and climate change affects us all. So to solve these global challenges, we need people who understands and care about what's happening beyond their own borders. And GCED comes in to help students becoming more open-minded and less prejudiced, understand global interdependence, act with empathy and responsibility. Now, imagine if every child in the world learned about peace, cooperation, and sustainability from an early age. We could reduce conflict, fight injustice, and build stronger international understanding, cross-cultural exchanges, Real-world examples such as South Korea has already includes global citizenship topics in their national curriculum. Costa Rica teaches peace education from primary school. International schools often use UN SDG-based learning to teach students about global issues, not just climate changes. These examples show it's possible and it's effective. So challenge the way forward. Yes, challenges do exist. Some governments may resist including global ideas in national curriculums because they think that maybe there's some sort of external influences. Teachers need training and schools need resources. Some teachers need to travel out more to put on new eyes rather than see new things. But with each global support from organizations like UNESCO and commitment from local education ministry, such as your good selves and Dr. Virginia and everyone else who are very passionate about education, GCED can be adapted in ways that respect culture while promoting unity. So in closing, global citizenship education isn't just a policy, it is a hope. A hope that the new generation will be more united, compassionate, and equipped to build a better world together. And that's my presentation for the evening. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marie Yang. This is something that's very, very interesting and very close to my heart. I know that Japan is successfully actually already doing this global citizenship as part of the educational policy, and it requires the students to learn financial literacy. It requires the students to learn 4 to 5 languages by the time that they graduate from high school and other things. But the truth is that they've already involved. They're very much involved, and it's part of, I think, 2 or 3 of their states in the country that already instituted this, and it's already working. So I would love to hear more about it. Definitely, we're all global citizens, and this is the world that we live in. So definitely, I also see it as part of the one educational policy. Definitely. Thank you so much for your contribution
Thank you.
today. Dr. Mary Yang is a global delegate with our Global Entrepreneurship and Entrepreneurship Festival. So thank you for being with us today. Thank you. Now I would love to introduce Dr. Valerie Naido from South Africa. She comes from Durban on the east coast of South Africa. She completed a master's and PhD degree from the University of KwaZulu in the pollution research group. She has a 6 years industry experience at Unilever South Africa. She is the executive manager of business development innovations at the Water Research Commission. But one of the things that I am very, very moved the most is she is a menstrual health research and advocate, and she's a kindness ambassador. She's making waves in the fight against period poverty. So welcome, Dr. Valerie. The virtual podium is all yours.
Thank you so much, Virginia. Good afternoon to everybody from sunny South Africa. So I'm so excited because today we are not just discussing education, we are actually discussing the future of our children, our youth, our communities, and our planet. And I just want to very quickly look at it from the South African context and how this can connect. Globally, while there are millions of children that remain out of school and the skills gap is really, really wide, while in South Africa, we have similar issues and they stem from our own deep-rooted challenges, such as educational inequalities and poor early literacy outcomes, as well as the very high unemployment rates with our youth. But despite the progress that our country has made in terms of inclusivity, the legacy of apartheid still impacts the education system. And while there are many, many efforts that are underway to support, our country to do better, but we also need to do more to support this from a holistic development perspective. The shared global policy, as Dr. Teresa mentioned, is definitely in order. It should be one for uniformity in terms of our global curriculum. And I want to add that this should be united around common pillars and guiding principles that promote equity, well-being, and success for all learners, no matter where they are in the world. And the way I see it is that the pillars of innovation and inclusion and impact are definitely binded by a golden thread, and that being wellness. Innovation in education is closely tiered to learner wellness. We need to shift from rote learning to more project-based, inquiry-led approaches that's going to spark curiosity and develop essential digital skills like coding and computational thinking from a very, very, very early age, because this is obviously going to enhance the critical thinking. It's going to build resilience with our young people as well. And in South Africa, this demands strong investment in teacher development from play-based learning in ECD centers, as well as hands-on approach in STEM in primary schools, alongside scaling digital platforms and expanding reliable internet access, especially within our rural communities of South Africa. Inclusion means removing the barriers caused by poverty, by disability, by gender, by language, or socioeconomic status. It requires culturally responsive curricula and diverse materials that affirm each child's identity. The link to wellness is indeed very vital, because when children start to feel included and when they start to feel that people are believing in them, they are more than likely, to perform a whole lot better. This approach reduces anxiety, it does boost motivation, and it gives clearer insight into each child's needs, focusing on them thriving as opposed to just passing. So in South Africa, this requires a framework to assess socio-emotional learning, integrating wellness skills like life orientation, and using the data to guide policy, resources, and youth mental health support. And I just want to conclude by saying, the time is indeed now for us to champion a global education policy rooted in innovation, inclusion, and impact, one that is going to intentionally prioritize learner wellness. For us in South Africa, it just means a renewed commitment in terms of early childhood development, aligned with the National Development Plan, as well as collaborating with key members from the various sectors, bold advocacy, youth-centered policy reform, and resource allocation. And that places wellness at the core. So we need to ensure that wellness is just not considered as an afterthought, but more at core design principle. The world has a critical opportunity to unite behind a shared education policy grounded in innovation, inclusion, and impact. So by embedding wellness as a core principle across curriculum, practice, and policy, we can shape systems that meet local needs while contributing to the global solution. So I want to say, and I want to encourage you to stand together with us so that we can move for a more equitable, resilient, and learner-centered global education landscape. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Valerie. I am so happy that you're here with us, and definitely I will be calling you later because I would love to integrate you in our group. Definitely, you said many important things, but one of the nuggets that I really want to capture is about wellness, how health is critical in education. If our kids are malnourished, if the people that are actually going to school can't see correctly, if we don't really assess what their abilities are and how to personally teach them best, if we're not really making sure that they're feeling 100% in their capacity, it's very hard to ask them to learn. So we can bring them the best education, but if wellness is not at the forefront, then we're really not doing anybody any favors. So thank you so much for bringing so many important topics, but that is a very, very important one. It goes hand in hand, and it definitely should go tied into our global policy. Thank you so much, Dr. Valerie. Now I would like to invite, and I hope I have your name correctly, Abu Rakar Haruna from Nigeria. An education champion is the first time that I have been able to have the privilege to share with you the virtual podium. So, sir, please join us. The virtual podium is all yours. Okay, so I don't think he's here. We will move on then to Dr. Anita McKinney. Dr. Anita, you here? Yes. Dr. Anita is from the United States. We've worked with her before. We are very, very happy to have you as part of our family. It's great to see you again. Definitely an education champion, and most importantly, an educationist that really inspires us all. She's also a mentor and a coach. Please, Her Excellency, the virtual podium is yours. Dr. Anita, I am going to interrupt you for 1 second because we can't hear you very well. Let me go as, if you want to turn off your mic, let's turn it back again and see. Okay, try again. Right. We can see your screen. We see your screen. No, I can't. Not very well. You know, I am going to, just because I know that you've worked really hard on this, I'm going to ask you probably to step out and come back in. Or if you had headphones, get them, because we would definitely want to benefit from your presentation. It looks amazing, and I don't want to miss any words. So we'll go ahead. Dr. Reverend Jocelyn, are you ready? Okay, beautiful. Dr. Reverend Jocelyn
Yes, I am. Yeah.
is also part of the International Internship University family. She has been one of our directors. We are so thrilled. She is definitely an educationist. She is advocate for women empowerment, for education. She inspires us all. Her words are always words that move us. And we're always in awe whenever she visits us. So I'm very, very blessed to have you here with us today. The virtual podium is all yours, Reverend Jocelyn.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be with you here today. Coming from the beautiful Caribbean island of Grenada, and as an educator myself and a creative, I've recently joined the board of Creating Grenada and Innovation and Multimedia. And one of the things I noticed quite a lot is the discrepancy in our island, and a lot of discrimination in terms of the creatives and how we allow them to get an education. And so I'm speaking to this here today. As I reflect on my experience growing up on the beautiful Spice Island of Pure Grenada, I'm reminded of the profound connection we have to the natural rhythms of the universe, in particular, the lunar cycle. And as a creative too, I do lots of things with the lunar cycle. The moon, with its phases of growth, reflects our own journey of learning. And it glows, remind us of the brightness that lies within every child waiting to be nurtured. I'd like to share a short poem that speaks to that connection. In the heart of Grenada, where the sun meets the sea, we gather our voices united as we strive to be free. With each child a treasure, their dream takes flight. Together we nurture their future shining bright. As the new moon rises, fresh intentions we plant. In every classroom, let's create a space that they can chant. For equity and access brings hope ever near. With the lunar cycle as our guide, we hold each child dear. So let us rise together, embrace the light of the moon, and empower our scholars, for they rise up soon. So in our discussion today, I'm just encouraging us to continue to emphasize the urgency of a unified educational policy that champions innovation, inclusion, and impact. The new moon is not merely a celestial event. It serves as a metaphor for new beginnings, inviting us to cleanse our minds from what no longer serves us and make room for fresh perspective. As we navigate this transformative journey, let us focus through a simple across acronym, equity, for it's called EASE. Equity meaning to ensure every child has access to quality education. Just summing up what we have been saying. A, access, breaking down barriers to learning regardless of background. S, sustainability, fostering educational practices that create a lasting impact. And E, empowerment, equipping learners with the tools to champion their future. Together, through each struggle and success, we can advocate for a world where every child strives. As I leave, I want to leave with the mantra, together we rise to ignite potential, empower minds, and shape a future where every child learns, grows, and strives. Thank you.
Virginia, no te escuchamos.
I think you're on mute,
Dr.
Virginia.
Virginia, you're muted.
Oh wow, you guys missed my words about Reverend Jocelyn, but I just want to say thank you for always inspiring us. You are a mentor to so many. Your fame and your beautiful soul really travels, and everybody that you bring knowledge to is truly blessed. Thank you for sharing with us this urgent call to action. Thank you, thank you. Now, Her Excellency Professor Anita McKinney, let's do this again. Let's start all over again.
Yes, let's start all over again.
Podium
Thank
stop.
you so much, Dr. Virginia, and to my fellow ambassador, Dr. Teresa, and also to Dr. Maria. Thank you so much. So friends, colleagues, and fellow advocates for our children, today I wish to hold a concept I hold dear, and I'm going to share my screen again. This is an possibility for a policy and for helps for education worldwide. And we call it the commission, right? It is, okay, I just want to make sure I have proper screen sharing. My apologies. Here we are. Awesome. Better.
It's looking good. I mean, it's a side by side, so we can see you speaking at the
Okay.
same time that we're looking at your deck.
Okay, very good, very good. Alrighty, so friends, colleagues, and fellow advocates, today we want to talk about the Great Commission for the Global Classroom. This speaks to the profound change that we have as educators and leaders to nurture and empower every soul through our transformative gift of learning. It's a calling that transcends our mere occupation. This is something that is a vital imperative as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 4. This is a policy and a prescription for fulfilling this commission, which involves 3 essential components: recognizing the profound healing that quality education provides, embracing equity as a non-negotiable standard, and championing the opportunity that begins with family structure. For education is a restorative force, and equity is our pathway, and the foundation of learning is initiated in the home at birth, supported and amplified by teachers, who is, along with the parents, paramount to unlocking a brighter future for every child globally. And so as a nurse, I'm a nursing professor. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I've been an educator for over 14. I've consistently observed that education is one of the most potent forms of healing that we can administer to individuals and to societies and to the world as a whole. It mends the fractures that are caused by ignorance, and it empowers individuals to overcome adversity and builds bridges of understanding. Conversely, without education, or in the presence of miseducation, we can inflict some lasting wounds, perpetuating cycles like poverty, misunderstanding, and untapped potential. So these are global challenges that we're called to address. The wisdom of Proverbs 4:13 guides us, and it says, "Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is life." So education is not merely the impartation of facts. It is the infusion of life, hope, and critical understanding, as we all know. So let's consider the profound healing and advancement possible when every child has access to education that nurtures their mind, spirit, and inherent capabilities. Across our world, the disparities in educational access and quality are very stark. Countless children aspire to learn, but they're hindered by systemic barriers. So this reality should stir us to more compassionate action. And the core for this policy and prescription for this global challenge is equity. This is distinct from equality, as we've already discussed. It's not about providing everyone with the same resources, but ensuring that every child receives what they individually need to thrive. As we are admonished in Proverbs 31:9, open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So in practice, this means championing fair access to qualified educators, appropriate resources, and learning environments that affirm each child's individual dignity and cultivating their potential irrespective of where their starting point is, right? So this dismantles these cycles of disadvantage and unlocks this vast reservoir of God-given talent within each and every person so that they contribute meaningfully to our world. So this global educational vision is anchored first in the classroom, which is the home. The home is the first classroom. And so this charge to parents is a foundational one. In my own family, this has meant me being a homeschooler. This has meant me sending my children to public school, and it has meant fostering self-directive learning and immersive experiences, and then becoming a college professor myself. And so many dedicated teachers are crucial partners in this new policy, in this new journey, building on a home foundation with their professional expertise and passion. So it's not an either or, but a powerful both and. It's a collaborative ecosystem where home and school reinforce each other. So when families actively engage and empower as the first educators, the schools then serve as a strong support structure. We cultivate this robust and adaptable educational experience for every child. Therefore, this great commission for Global Classroom is our collective and our individual mandate. It's a call to bring healing through knowledge, to champion equity with conviction, and to build on the bedrock of home-centered learning enriched by worldwide educational experiences. So this prescription and policy of healing, equity, and diverse home foundational learning supported by dedicated educators, both things, they unlock unparalleled opportunities for every child everywhere. So let's embrace this commission with wisdom and diligence and unwavering faith, understanding that our efforts will contribute to a world where every child is empowered to reach their full potential. I am happy to connect at Anita McCaney on all social platforms, and thank you again for this opportunity. Oh, you're muted again. Dear Dr. Virginia,
No, yeah,
there you are.
thank you. It's just that there's a lot of action going on, and I don't want you guys to be disrupted. But anyway, I just want to say that I love to hear you speak. There's so much passion in it, and I know there's a lot of commitment. And I think the one thing that we need to remember is that we may hear many speakers, and they are so eloquent, and they speak from the heart. But the truth is that we need to put action behind those words. And I know that that's something that you do all the time. And I think that if you have been with me in any of my conferences, this is the one thing that I say, because we don't bring these just to hear ourselves speak. We bring and we create these spaces so we can actually collaborate together and make things happen. And right now, I'm already putting people together. You know, I think that what Reverend Jocelyn said worked really well with what Professor Anita says, and so on and so forth. So I'm already creating groups in my mind of the things that we can actually do together. So thank you for being here. Definitely our first classroom, like Dr. Teresa said, and you reiterated, is our home, right? And it starts from that, and also equity. Many times we don't understand. We're not all the same. We don't arrive the same way. We don't all live in the same way. So we need to meet people where they're at. So our students, no matter what the age, can blossom where they start. Blossom from where you are, because not everybody arrives there the same way. So thank you for your words, and very excited to have you with us here today. And I will be calling upon you. Thank you. I would like now to welcome Noor Nazarana Binti Omar Din, and I hope I did not say all of this wrong, but you have a beautiful name, and I'm just learning how to say it, from Malaysia. She's a senior lecturer and program coordinator at the university in Malaysia. She is an education champion, and we're thrilled and very privileged to have her here with us. Are you here?
Yes,
you
I
are.
am.
Welcome. Thank you for being here with us
Thank you.
today. The virtual
Thank
podium
you
is
for this opportunity. Good morning, everyone. Hello, and have a good day. I would like to share my screen.
yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So since our conference theme today is One Policy for Global Education, I would like to narrow down to a vision for unified educational standards worldwide, right? So why one policy for global education? Okay, there are a lot of problem statements, or I would say statistics on global education, which are narrowed down to positive and negative factors. For the negative ones, out of school children, over 260 million children worldwide do not attend school. And this is quoted by UNESCO 2024. Literacy challenges in low-income countries has stated that 87% of children cannot read by the end of primary school. And this is quoted by Our World in Data. So these are the negativity in the global education. But let's see the positivity side. The gender equality education, whereby the gender gap in school attendance has closed in most parts of the world. And this is by OECD 2024. And the literacy progress rates has greatly improved, with less than 1 in 5 adults lacking basic education, again from Our World in Data. So these 50% of negativity and 50% of positivity leading us to one policy in global education. So how do we do that? And what is one policy for global education? So that is a concept of bringing in one policy of global education. How can we do that? I have segmentized it into 4 particular areas. One is vision. We have to establish a unified global education framework where we ensure equitable access to quality education for all learners. Inclusivity, where we address barriers related to geography and socio-economic background, and we do promote fair opportunities for students worldwide. Standardization, where we have to harmonize the curriculum standards across the countries, align teaching quality and educational practices globally. Last but not least, about the learning outcomes, where we have to create consistency learning benchmarks and also ensure students achieve comparable educational outcomes regardless of their location. Right, moving forward, what is the benefit of one policy for global education? Okay, here we can see that we can gain a lot of benefits from the equity in education, where we can have equal access and opportunities for all students, bridging the digital divide in undeserved communities, global standards and competitiveness, where we standardize curriculum and assessment, boost educational outcomes and competitiveness, international collaboration. We have cross-border knowledge sharing, stronger global educational partnership. Last but not least is the global impact, where we have higher literacy rates, promotion of peace and global citizenship. By doing or gaining these benefits, we can also overcome the challenges in implementation of one policy for global education. But before that, we have to know what are the challenges that we will face in implementation of this one policy for global education. So we will have a lot of challenges in equity in resource and allocation and funding, okay, whereby we have to fund and resource allocation, ensuring equitable distribution of resources. For example, wealthier nations like Germany can invest heavily in education, while low-income countries will struggle with basic infrastructure. The second challenge that we will face is inclusivity and adaptability, where while ensuring this adaptability of the policy, we have to address a lot of languages barriers and learning needs of marginalized groups. For example, a global curriculum must accommodate students with disability, such as providing materials in Braille. The third one would be cultural and systematic diversity, where diverse educational systems and cultural differences and also socio-economic contexts. For example, the US itself emphasized in standardized testing, while Finland focused on holistic learning and minimal testing. Last but not least, on our political and institutional resistance, where we have a lot of political and economic barriers, resistance to change from local educational authorities. For example, again, countries in conflict zones like Syria may prioritize national security over educational reform, and some states in India resist adopting a national curriculum due to regional language and cultural. So these are the main challenges that we have to face in order to implement one policy for global education. So who are the key holders for one policy for global education who have to act upon this, right? So I believe the international organizations are the lead coordinators. For example, UNESCO, OECD, UNICEF, and the World Bank have to support with research funding and policy frameworks. The national governments would be the primary implementers, where they are responsible for adopting and also adapting global policies to local contexts. Ministries of education have to play a vital role in developing national strategies aligned with global rules. Moving forward with NGOs and civil society, they will act as advocates and supporters to push for inclusive, equitable education. They also have to play a role to fill gaps in underserved areas and monitor policy impact. Educational institutions and educators are on the ground execution because we do implement policies in classrooms. We provide feedback on what works and what need to be adjusted. The students and parents will be the end beneficiaries and influencers, whereby their needs and voices shape the relevance and success of the policies that we implement. The last but not least, the call to action for one policy for global education. What should we do to move forward, to have one policy for global education? So we have to advocate, collaborate, promote awareness, and invest in education, and also monitor and evaluate the progress of one policy for global education. Last but not least, I would like to quote Nelson Mandela, stating education is the most powerful weapon for changing the world. This quote aligns perfectly with the vision of a unified global education policy, emphasizing education as a transformative force for global equity, peace, and progress. Let's unite under one vision, one policy for global education to empower every learner everywhere with a vision for unified educational standards worldwide. Thank you. I end my presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. I felt like I was in my own presentation because pretty much our deck looks very much like the deck that you just presented when we present to the world when we're talking about one global policy. So thank you so much. Definitely you are an advocate, and I know that we can definitely call on you to continue this amazing work. Actually, every single one of you has really impressed me with every single one of your speeches, because we're actually putting action, we're actually researching, we're just not and saying how pretty it would be or how wonderful it would be, but there's actually concise work behind it. So thank you so much for sharing this amazing deck with us. I would like to
the opportunity also.
thank you, and I will definitely be writing to you very, very soon. Now, Ambassador Smiley Mukta, are you ready? How are you? Welcome. Smiley is part of our family. She is a green ambassador. She is a coach. She's a mentor. She's definitely an education advocate. And we always count on her to bring her research, her knowledge, and her passion. Smiley, the virtual podium is all yours.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. It's always been a pleasure to see all of you. I mean, it's not the question that, I need to speak, but just being involved, just getting to know everyone is enough rather than being silent. So I would rather be silent and listen and look and get energized. That's the way I love to do. But however, let's move on. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. What I would like to put my thoughts, I mean, I'm a person, I always love to share my viewpoints with my own experiences and all. So I would rather put it this way, our globally, optimized education policy should prioritize access to quality education for all. That means, addressing or ensuring all, regardless of socioeconomic status, geographic location. That means we are being unitedly giving quality education to all. And then focusing on equity, inclusivity, and most important, my approach, which I am putting and forcing on holistic development and sustainability, which is a dire need, and we should work and focus more on those curriculum. So every student should have a policy, should have that idea, that passion burning in them to follow for a rapid changing world. Now, at the same time, I would love more on, practical approaches. Lot of enforcement of personalized learning, cater to students' needs, their what you call, say, strengths and weakness, and it jumps and give them an opportunity for creativity and their passion, which is where they start their journey. And who are we? We are the leaders to lead them on the way, showing our enthusiasm, our positivity, our passionate work to drill into it. When we blend and bring all these experiences and project work, rather, I would put it this way, that is real world skills. So this is something which I thought that, if we start enforcing on that, and particularly on the holistic development, on social, emotional curriculum, to develop the skills of self-awareness right from their stage where they are learning, would be the prime to step into, because we all know education is not that we are just into the curriculum or in the classroom and to have those certificates. It is all about your personal development too. Personality needs education. For me, I think the 50% of education, as we grew up in life, we get educated. Today, I am among all of you. That doesn't mean that I am superior. No, it is not like that. I am getting maybe 10% out of this. That quality, we are talking randomly on analysis, policy, what should be done, but let's focus on the pillars. Let's focus on the framework. If we have the framework, a canvas is ready. No matter what painting you're put, I mean, it's all done, but the pillar is not strong. The homework is not done. No matter what mansion, $1 million, it's gonna collapse. So my point, my wrapping message, I will put it in a very short and crisp way, is that I personally believe that education is not that what we are looking for. And it's nowadays in this fast moving materialistic world, darling. I mean, everything is moving at a fast speed. Everything is commodity. Everything is just like a transaction. Believe me, my message to everyone is that education is not a commodity. It's not a transaction. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to let's not sell education. Let's spread education. That is the foremost thing which we need to understand, that it's not a byproduct. It's not what we give, we buy, and we come back happy. It's a spontaneous process. And in that spontaneity, my call as title as a most influential woman shaping the future, I take a lead on that if we all are educators, we must step out to spread, to inspire, rather waiting for policies, everything, because that's an action plan. That's called a change maker. Let's start leading. Let's start educating the person who's just sitting there, irrespective of who the person accomplished, doesn't matter. I mean, start with anyone who needs any kind of education. I would not think twice to give that to Shell, because if my cup is filled, I can pour to others. And that is the passion, fire in every one of us. Let's start that action plan. And I am ready to lead the journey. Thank you very much. Let's all start, come together, and make a better place. Let's start educating, clapping, and be in everyone's journey, empowering, inspiring, not pulling, but bringing everyone together. Top it up with a smile and just a follow it. Bless you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smiley. We will definitely follow you anywhere you go. We love that passion and that direction that you give to everyone. You speak so clearly and definitely can see what you're saying and that you're actually acting upon it. So thank you. Thank you for being with us today. Now I would like to introduce Ofadil T. Govhamodimo from Botswana. And I do hope that I get the name correctly. Thank you. I'm sorry. Fadil, I will get your name better.
It's definitely the one.
Yeah, she promotes
Definitely. You did pronounce it well, though.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that okay? There we go.
Pardon me if I haven't put the background.
We can see you. We can see you now.
I've tried to put the background, but
it's okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful opportunity. My name is Adile Tiro Famudimo, and I am G100 Botswana country chair for youth engagement. As well, I've been selected as Botswana's top 30 leading women, Africa's top 30 leading women, in fact, because of the work that I do. I'm deeply honored to stand before you today as a voice from Botswana, representing a concern that is both local and global, gender-based violence, GBV, in schools. And this issue is no longer just a national outcry. It is a global emergency. And when teachers become perpetrators and police respond with silence or corruption, we fail our children, we fail our future. And recent reports from Botswana, as well as from other regions globally, have highlighted an alarming increase in gender-based violence, especially within educational settings. And what is most disturbing is the culture of silence and corruption, law enforcement turning a blind eye, and communities choosing not to speak up, and systems failing to protect learners. As we are all aware, there was a situation of this young girl from South Africa, Cheche, and the fact that the community was standing up and petitioning for her it's really how it shows how we are shifting our mindsets, how we are shifting from being silent to speaking out. And this calls, as more of these events happen, this calls for a unified global education policy, one that does not just promote literacy and numeracy, but protects the dignity, safety, and mental well-being of every child. And I'd like to propose the integration of the following elements into a unified policy framework. 1, mandatory GBV and mental health education in schools curricula. Age-appropriate sessions of consent, respect, self-worth, and emotional safety, guided by trained professionals, not just teachers, to ensure credibility and neutrality. School-based counseling programs, a compulsory school counselor in every institution, regular motivational talks, workshops, and trauma-informed care training for both students and teachers. Teacher and staff training, certification courses on GBV, prevention, ethics, and mental wellness. Zero tolerance policy for abuse with mandatory reporting mechanisms. Law enforcement education, specialized police training on handling school-based abuse cases without bribery or bias. Clear global policies that criminalize negligence and cover-ups in GBV cases involving learners. Harnessing technology, the Botswana satellite launch as a global model could be used. Botswana's newly launched satellite initiative presents an incredible opportunity to bridge information gaps in remote and underserved schools. Let me propose how we can scale this globally. We can use satellite and online platforms to deliver live educational talks and cross-border awareness campaigns. We can create visual international classrooms where students from different countries share experiences, learn about rights, and access mental health content. As much as we are sharing here, as much as we are connecting here, can be the same way for students and learners in schools. We could train teachers and law enforcers remotely using localized language content powered by satellite-based distribution. This aligns perfectly with our theme, global connectivity for global police equity. A vision for collective accountability. If we establish a global education, safety and wellness standard under this proposed policy, every learner from a village in Manyana to a city in Manila will be protected by the same educational principles. We will have global metrics to track GBV incidents, school climate health, and emotional well-being. Schools can be certified as safe learning zones with transparency and global recognition. A call to action. Let us advocate for a global education for safety and wellness clause in the unified policy. Let us urge governments, donors, tech partners, and civil society to invest in training, counseling, and energy access. And the wall that education without safety is not education at all. In conclusion, together through a unified global education policy, we can eliminate gender-based violence in schools, restore trust in learning institutions, and protect the mental well-being of every child, because no child should fear the classroom. No teacher should abuse that power. Let this conference be the beginning of one voice, one policy, and one global commitment to safe and equitable education for all. Thank you so much for this beautiful moment and inspiring moment, for giving me the chance to be able to share my mind with the world in terms of this initiative.
Thank you so much, Fadil, I am really, really happy that you're here with us today. I have to say that in Botswana right now, well, a few hours ago, we just launched Mahila Udiami with Dr. Oliver, and we will be visiting Botswana very soon. So I will be able to work with you
Oh, wow.
directly. Yes, so I will definitely keep you very close to me because we will be, I would say in the next month or two, we will be in Botswana. So I am very, very happy to see, to hear you and definitely know your commitment. Thank you so much. Thank you for your word. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank
And
you
I will
so
see you
much.
very soon. Very, very. Now I would
Thank
like to
you.
introduce to you
Thank you.
Maria Andrade. She's from the US. Maria, are you ready? Yes, you are. She is a proactive leader with an ardent drive for social equality and all it encompasses. She combines education and technology to get her work done. We love what she does. She has been with us before and she already considered part of the family. So Maria, the virtual podium is yours. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Gracias. And buenos días. If you speak Spanish, good morning. If you speak English, and good evening. I'm not too fluent in many languages, but this is a great opportunity for us to engage in a further and very important conversation, right? I'm honored to be here today, and because this space is not just a conversation, it's a draft for what we want to see in the world, not state, not in a city, worldwide. We all have an understanding that every child has and deserves the right to have a high quality education that meets their needs. Let's begin with some facts. Today, more than 260 million children around the world are out of school. Over 600 million are in school but not achieving the minimum proficiency in reading or math. In 2024 alone, climate disasters disrupted learning for 242 million students. And the Global South, 90% of children with disabilities still lack access to structured education. These numbers aren't just alarming, they are unacceptable. And they reflect one central truth. Education access must transcend geography, economic status, language, and environmental vulnerability. That is why we must move towards a unified global education policy, one that guarantees equity and quality, one that promotes technological innovation while being conscious of our environmental footprint. Because the same tools that connect us must also sustain us. We cannot speak of systems transformation without including families. In my recent capstone, research focused on strengthening Latino parent advocacy, I saw firsthand the power of informed and engaged parents. I propose that schools adopt and disseminate a parent bill of rights in native languages with cultural relevance, with clear guidance. Because when parents understand their role and their rights, they become the strongest protectors of equity. This isn't just a US strategy, it's a replicable, scalable model for global education, systems that want to build true family school partnerships. Global policy must speak to more than access. It must speak to belonging, inclusion, shared accountability. In closing, as I sip my cafecito today and everybody else is possibly enjoying dinner, let us reflect on this. What are we willing to do, not just say, to ensure every child has a chance to learn, lead, and thrive? One world, one vision, one policy, not tomorrow. It starts today with us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Maria. Definitely, I am also a Latina, and I definitely think that we know that in our part of the world, we are still lagging behind. I have to say that particularly in my island, if you want a good quality education, you have to pay. And you have to pay probably between 600 USD dollars to 1,800 USD dollars a month. The education in public systems that is available to all students has great teachers, but there's so many students, and we don't really, like you just said, they're going to school, but we're not giving them the tools to really learn. We're not giving them the quality education that they really need, and most likely the support to those educators. so they can continue to thrive and help our students. This is definitely what we're talking about. It's not just education, it's quality education. So thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. We know that there's so many things that we have to encounter and that we have to talk about, but it's really pointing it out first, and then we continue to do the work. So thank you. Thank you for your research and for bringing it to our attention. Thank you. Very proud. I would like now to, let's see, I would like now to invite Dr. Ona Miller. Dr. Ona Miller is very popular, very popular. She has a following of people, I have to say. I needed to meet you. It's my first time having you here with me. Definitely your reputation precedes you. You inspire. You're definitely a champion for education, but I could definitely see how everybody really is pushing you forward to speak. So I am very excited for your message today. And I just want to say thank you for saying yes. Thank you for believing for all you do. And now the virtual podium is all yours.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Virginia. I am honored to be here, and I'm very honored to be among so many of you who are actually making an impact in the world for education. I am here today to stand as a female civility in education advocate. And I want to propose female civility in education and eradicating barriers globally. I think many of you have heard, and I want to reiterate it again, that to educate a woman is to empower a nation. And so I am standing today for female civility in education, and it must not be negotiable. Female civility in education is a non-negotiable. We're not just talking about access. We're talking about dignity. We're talking about safety and intentionally inclusion for every girl and woman, regardless of geography. What is female civility in education? Female civility means educational environments that protect, they honor, and they prepare our girls to lead. It's a moral and strategic commitment to ensure her voice is not heard, but valued. So I want to talk about our top global barriers: harmful culture norms, lack of safety and harassment, financial constraints, poor infrastructure, and lack of female representation in education. I want to provide 5 key solutions. Number 1, we must do cultural advocacy. Normalize girls' education through community empowerment. Number 2, we must be protective of our policies and enforce safe, inclusive laws, which is what we're doing today, one policy. Number 3, resource equity. Provide basic needs and female educators. And I must say here that I am for equality and equity because I believe we need both, we can have both, and we must have both. Number 4 is economic empowerment. Offer scholarships and family support because, as you know, our first school, and as it has been said before, our first school, the first encounter of education is in our homes with our families. And then number 5, of course, is female leadership. Elevate women in the decision-making roles, okay? And then last, but certainly not least, education, or should I say educating women transforms nations. Female civility in education is justice, it is strategy, and it is sustainability. Civility is not silence. It is intentional elevation. And I again say, I stand for equity and equality and exclusivity. I do not stand for exclusivity. Thank you for allowing me this time to share my proposed policy, which is female civility in education and eradicating barriers.
Wow, thank you so much. I say that we need to propose that in every aspect still. We do know that women are still severely underrepresented, underserved. We are half of the population. We say this all the time. And nonetheless, all around the world, there's not one country yet, not one country
Exactly.
that has achieved parity. We're just talking about parity,
Yeah.
you know, doing the same work with the same credential, same experience.
Yeah.
But when we encompass everything, including education, where we still think that boys have more rights to an education just because he will be the breadwinner someday. And this is not only in countries that we say, well, you know, they're still becoming educated. No, 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 no. We're talking about conversations that we hear at home.
Yes.
So thank you so much for bringing this again. And this is definitely part of our global policy, because we see a time to teachers. I'm going to just make a little side note. I have two beautiful daughters, strong, opinionated, bold, fierce. They're not for everyone, but they're mine. And I'm very proud that I raised these warriors, because that is what they had to be in order to be where they're living right now.
Yes.
One of my daughters had a teacher that said, she would call her Miss Model, as in model. And she said, you don't even have to study, honey. You're so pretty. All you have to do is get a husband, and that'll be it. This is in a classroom.
I believe it.
Where we pay $1,200 a month to go to school, because the education in Puerto Rico is very expensive and limited. So I just want to say, you don't have to go very far. You hear this all the time. So people say, well, yeah, in some countries that's happening. No, no, no. It's happening everywhere.
Everywhere.
So thank you so much. I will be talking to you very soon. We have a wonderful program called Dr. Mahila Udiami, and I would love to bring you in. But definitely thank you for sharing that, because bringing in gender specific comments, you know, and addressing them directly is the best way to do it. You know, we don't have to dance around it. Inclusion is wonderful, but when we need to be specific, I appreciate the fact that you did. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
I would like to see if there's anybody. Dr. Shruti Kulkarni is part of our core team here in huge group of companies and trust, who is the parent company for World Education Policy. Dr. Shruti, are you available? Okay, so I think we have reached everybody. So I'm just going to do a little recap, because today's conversation was amazing. I wish we had more time, but based on everything that we've talked about, I want to say thank you. Thank you, because you have talked about the points that we are already talking in World Education Policy. We are a consortium of people and stakeholders, and I would love for you to find us in our website. It's worldeducationpolicy.com. Number one, advocating for a unified worldwide education policy that ensures equal access to quality from equity. Number two, promoting the importance of a global education and becoming global citizens. We talked about this today. Number three, establishing a comprehensive world education policy to lay a foundation for a more equitable world. This is what we do in our organization. Number four, advocating for a single, consistent educational framework. I know that it may seem daunting, but the truth is that we come together, and those civic organizations that are there to guide us and spearhead actually do their job. We can actually do this, but we all need to be active. Championing change and rallying behind a world education policy that's one policy to support equal educational empowerment across all nations is so important. And treating every student, regardless of their location, their age, as a building block of the world's future, the future that we all want. All of this I was able to get from all of you speaking today. We need to advocate for a world where education knows no boundaries and creating a harmonious global education landscape. It's not just about going into a school, it's making sure that the student is going into the school prepared, and that the educator is supported to give his best or her best to the students. Time and time again, it's just not the building. A building is just a building. School is where we really bring education to the forefront. Based on principles of unity, equality, and empowerment, I know that this can be done. I want to thank every single one of you for being here today. I have to say that one of my most important, I would say what I'm doing, I can say the word in Spanish, but what I'm committed to, something that I'm really talking about in education is, in this global policy, we need to talk about sustainability. If our students are the future, how can we not include a class that is talking about how to be sustainable, how to live sustainably? And I'm just not talking environmentally. That is number one. We all live in the same planet, but I mean in every aspect. There is no class in our curriculums dedicated to sustainability. So I have to say that now I have your voices, but think about it. We are expecting this from future generations, but we're only talking about climate change. We're not talking about every aspect of this sustainability chain. So, it starts with us. We have access, we have networks. So today I invite you to join us in World Education Policy. It's one vision, one foundation, one policy. This is what we want, and this is what we believe. We believe that the United Nations is trying to do a great job. These 17 SDGs, it's a great marker, but if we don't put the action behind them, they're just markers, they're just pointers. There's nothing to it. So again, I always say this when I end, let's get to action. Invite me, call me. I am here to mobilize people to get things done. And I know that every single person that was here today is leaving with that commitment. We need to start from the grassroots level up. And let's not forget any single person. No child, no individual, no woman left behind. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I hope to see you very soon. We will be having more of these conversations, and we will definitely invite you all to be part of World Education Policy. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day today.